In this lesson, we will learn how to fade an element with jQuery on a web page. Let's say you have some elements on your web page and you want to fade in a specific element, then you can use jQuery. We will see how to fade in and fade out elements on a web page. With that, we will also see the toggle effect. Let's start. So guys, we will see how to fade an element. Okay, fading an element means changing the opacity for a specific element. The fading effect means from hidden to visible. Okay, so we will see it. For that, we'll be using the built-in jQuery methods. Here it is. To fade in, we will use the fade in method. To fade out, we will use the fade out method. And to display the toggle effect, we will use the fade toggle method. Okay, fade in means changing the opacity from hidden to visible. Fade out means the opposite, that is from visible to hidden. And toggle means switching between them. Let's see the first method, the fade in method. So we will fade in an element using the jQuery fade in method. I told you before that with fade in, the opacity for an element will change from hidden to visible. That is the fading effect. So in the example, we'll be applying the fade in method on a div element. Let's see the example. So here we have our VS Code. We have created the following folder for our project on the desktop, and here are all the files. For this example, let me create a new HTML file. Right click here, new file. I'll mention index8.html. Okay, here it is. Now let me take the basic code from here, copy, paste. So here we have added jQuery using the jQuery CDN, and this is the syntax. Let me remove this. Okay, here is our HTML element. We have added a sample h1 heading. So we will see how to fade an element using the fade in method. Now let us do one thing. I'll add let's say some more HTML elements. Let's say we will be creating 4 divs. Okay, so now we will also set a button. We will apply the fading effect on the click of this button. Will display invisible elements. Okay, as I said, we'll be creating 4 divs. Let's create. Okay, div 1. Let me add ID for it. Let's say I'll be adding for demo div 1. Now we want 4. So what I'll do, I'll just paste it. Div 2, div 3, div 4. Okay, now since we have set up the ID, we need to add the styles also. Before that, let us see the jQuery stuff. So on the click of this button, the following button, what will happen? The click event will call and we will fade all 3 divs individually. Let us set the code for it. $button. Okay. On the click of this dot click function. Now I add the code. I told you we'll be applying it on all the divs. So dot fade in semicolon, copy this, control C for the 4 divs. Now mention hash div1 For the following div, I have used hash because it is having an ID attribute. That's why hash div1, hash div2 for the second div, hash div3 for the third div, and hash div4 for the fourth div. Now we will add the fadeIn effect. I'll correct this. The default would be for 400 milliseconds. Okay, so I'll keep it as it is. After that, we will add the slow effect using the slow parameter of the fadeIn method. Let's say I want to set 2000 milliseconds for the third div and fast for the last. That's it. Now let us set the styles that would come here before the closing head tag. Style, that means the CSS stuff for a divs. So let me set it here. Let's say I'll set for div. So we are setting display none for all the divs. Now set for div1 different background color. Set for others also. I'll just copy paste. Div2, div3, div4. We are just adding different background colors. Green, blue and orange. That's it. Now we have our code here. Okay, on the click of the button, all the divs will fade in. This will be for 400 millisecond because it is the default. This will be slow, the following for 2000 milliseconds, and this will be for fast. Okay, here it is. Now let us save it. File save all. Now I'll run index 8. Right click. Open in default browser. Four divs will fade in below on the click of a button. So this button we will click and we will display the invisible element. All the four divs were invisible because we have set display none. Here it is. You can see by default one by one it is visible. I'll refresh it again. Let me click here again. And herein all the four divs are visible. We have set the fadeIn effect. So guys, we saw how we can set the fadeIn effect using the fadeIn method. Now let us see the second method, fadeOut method, in which we will fade out a visible element. That means the opposite effect of fadeIn, from visible to hidden. We will apply the fadeout on the div element. Let's see the example. So let us create a new file. Right click, new file, index9.html. Okay, here it is. Now let us take the previous code only. Here it is. Copy, paste. So we were having four divs. These were the four divs with different ID attributes and a button. So what this button will do, this will fade out and hide visible elements. Four visible divs will fade out below on the click of a button. Okay. And what about the following styles? I would remove display none because we are displaying it and fading it out later. So all the divs will now be visible. Rest keep as it is, the background color stuff. Instead of fade in, obviously on the click of a button, I'll set fade out. Fade out for all the 4 divs. This will fade out after 400 milliseconds. This will slowly fade out using the slow parameter. 2000 millisecond and fast. Fade out and hide visible elements. Now let us run it. File, save all. Right click, open in default browser. Now you can see 4 visible divs. It will fade out when I'll click here. Now I'll click on the button. You can see one by one it faded. I'll refresh again. Let me click on the button again and it will fade out one by one. So guys, in this way we can easily work around the fade out method. Now let us see the next example. So guys, we saw how to work around the fade in and fade out methods. Now let us work around the fade toggle. Fade toggle means you can set both fade and fade out effects using the fade toggle method. We will work around this on the click of a single button. That means the toggle effect. Let us see the example. So here was our fade out example. I'll create a new file. Right click, new file, index 10.html. Okay, now let us take the following code. Copy, paste. Okay, so this was for our fade out effect. Okay, now let us set the toggle here. First, let me change this. 4 divs will show and hide. On button toggle, let's say fade in / fade out and show hide visible and show hide elements. Rest keep as it is, and a div was having the following: 4 different colors and 100 px width and height for all the divs. We will do the changes here. So on the click of the following button, the fade in and fade out effect will be visible. So obviously we won't use the fade out or fade in method. We'll be using the fade toggle method. Okay, it's visible on its own. Do the same for others. What will happen? This will toggle for 400 milliseconds because it is an empty parameter. We haven't added any parameter for the fade toggle method. For the second, it would go around slow. For the third, only for 2000 milliseconds, and the last one would be fast. And all these things will happen on the click of a button. File, save all, right click, open in default browser. So here it is, our divs are visible. Now I'll click on it again and it is visible. I'll click again, it will vanish. I'll click the same button, it will appear again. So we have set the same using the fade toggle method. So guys, we saw how we can easily fade an element using these 3 methods. The fade in will set the effect from hidden to visible. The fade out will set the effect from visible to hidden. And the toggle would allow us to set the toggle effect. Thank you for watching the video.